166 points on the Nifty, 17,323 is where we are at. Aman Chowhan is now joining us. He's fund manager at Abakkus Asset Management. Aman, great to have you with us. And it's a good day. 168 on the Nifty and pushing higher still, making newer highs. By the way, UPL numbers are coming through at the bottom of the screen. Net profit at 877 crores. This seems like a big beat as compared to 606 crores, which was the poll expectation. And I think we'll have revenue numbers coming through as well in just a bit from now. UPL is surging as we speak. It's up about 4.33%. So it's a very nice beat, unless of course there is some one-time extraordinary or anything of that sort. This looks like a very good set of numbers. Revenues are also there, and they're also much higher. 10,821 crores as compared to 9,700 odd crores. Yeah. Which was the poll on UPL.
I think Aman and all, they have it in their part of their portfolio as well. And I think the last time we chatted, Aman had briefly mentioned that there's some valuation support as well out there. We'll get Sonal, I think, to join in and give us a quick analysis. So
Aman, why don't I throw? I was sort of going to start with a market question since Nigel prompted. You may have it in the portfolio. Double smiling. Any thoughts on? UPL numbers are just coming in. Go on.
Yeah, so we like the space, the agrochemical space, because globally farm incomes are up because of the higher food prices and the green prices, and because of which the company seems to be on a good wicket. And as I mentioned earlier, there is a valuation support also. So at roughly 10-11 times 24 earnings for India's largest agrochemical company and among the top 10 globally, I feel it's a perfect balance of both the valuation as well as earning growth coming in.
Hey Aman, good one on that. The last time you said you were sitting on some cash and you were looking at deploying it. You want to give us an updated number of your cash levels?
So we have marginally deployed the cash. We have not been very aggressive. Okay. So we added some banking and financial sectors. We have added some real estate, not a direct real estate, but real estate building materials, to say so. And looking forward to further deployment in the coming months.
Aman, give us further clarity on in the banking and financial space. What did you add? Was it a PSU? Was it a private bank? Was it NBFCs? If you could give us a broad direction out there. And also on the building products business, you all have made some really good bets in there. I've been tracking the space, whether it is a CRISIL, whether it is HIL. Well, those are multi-baggers. Yes, they've come off the top, but you all have gotten at the right time. So if you could give us some kind of an idea on the buildings products, which one? Was it a pipe manufacturer? Was it a cement? I mean, if you could give us some kind of indirect play on the real estate space. Go ahead.
Right. So in the banking space, obviously it's more of private banks, and mid-sized private banks is something where we have added exposure, added to our existing names also. This is where the valuation at below book is something which is very tempting to look at. On the housing front, we don't have direct real estate plays in our portfolio, so we play the housing upsurge indirectly to the building materials. So as you rightly pointed out, this has been a great sector for us, and we have had good returns. They are off from the highs because of the margin pressure, which we feel should correct in the next quarter or so. So as we speak, commodity prices are off the peaks, and this is surely going to help the margins for these companies also. So there's a pause in the near term because margins are lagging and impacted. In the next quarter or so, I feel that will be behind us. And then again, I expect the sector to be back in the limelight.
Sorry, on building products, Aman, what segment? Because there is so much there, right?
We have laminates. We have laminate companies. Okay. We have plywood MDF companies in our portfolio. We have roofing sheets, asbestos sheet companies in our portfolio. So this is the space that we are quite positive about.
Okay. Interesting. And how this is a fast-growing area, 20-25% growth rates, right? Are there any? Two or three things you would want to track here in terms of the sector itself? Because MDF makers, for example, there's very fast adoption, both institutional and, of course, at a retail level as well. What's the size of the market? And what is it? What rate is it growing? Some sense here, because stocks here have done very, very well.
Yeah, stocks have done well on two accounts. One, demand has gone up they are gaining market share versus the traditional plywood. And in the past, there used to be heavy dumping in India, either from China or from the South Asian countries. As we speak, the dumping is off, and we are seeing considerably lower imports coming in, because of which there is pricing sanity, and that has helped these companies. Most of the companies in the sector are expanding; they are adding new capacities. The portfolio companies that we have also been a big beneficiary. Margins are improved because of lower imports, and for them, the new capacity is also coming in. So we saw expansion coming in the last 12 months. In 24, the next level of expansion will kick in, and that's where the excitement is. Overall, as I mentioned, the segment is replacing traditional plywood. So it's an emerging sector in a way. Globally, people use more of MDF than plywood, and eventually that's what's going to happen in India also. So that's the macro tailwind, to say so.
You know, Aman, Tanla, that stock went one way up. It's a third of what it was at its peak. There is some business similarities with Root Mobile, I think, and Tanla. Root, you'll have been invested for quite a long time. Continue to hold on to that position? Do you believe the story is good even from here on?
Yeah, so it's one of our top holdings in the AIF, and we continue to like the name. The results which came in last week was a testimony: strong top-line growth, margin improvement, and the way digital theme is catching on globally. I believe business of volumes is not an issue for the whole industry, whether it is the whole CPaaS industry is facing that, and that's a good sign.
Okay, nice. Aman, you know, the last time we chatted, you said you got onto a two-wheeler after a long time. Is that the one that's zooming ahead? You want to give us the CC or something? You know, then at least we could narrow down on the stock.
No, it's a Western India player, so I believe that should suffice.
Okay, all right. But any other auto stock you're looking at?
The autos have done well. In the near term, momentum is by their side, both from the demand standpoint and also because of the margin easing due to the lower commodity prices. And at the same time, this was an under-owned sector. So we see lots of liquidity also moving towards under-owned sectors, a sector that have not performed, especially in the last 3 months. So clearly, auto has been a big beneficiary of that trend, both auto and auto anchs. And for the next few months, I feel this trend and this momentum should continue, because we are heading towards a festive season, and we are expecting a bumper festive season. After a gap of 2 years, people will be moving out, people will be spending on their mobility, they will be spending a big time, which they missed in the online phase of last 2 years, and that should bode well for the sector.
Aman, in auto angs, because again, it's a very wide area, right? All kinds of companies. Which segment is looking the best to you, to your mind, within auto angs?
Tires as a segment is looking good. We have yet to take an exposure, but there is one segment that we are very closely monitoring. Besides that, engineering companies, component companies is what maximum auto engineering companies are. Even forging companies in that sense are doing well. So these two segments, forging as well as engineering, and tires over the next 1 year, this will be the three segments that we will be looking at.
Okay, all right, Aman. Always good hearing your thoughts. Thanks for sharing whatever you could. Our viewers will gain, and as always, you say it's not a recommendation. You're just telling us about your portfolio.